Rogers Dab Chevrolet was just a regular car dealership here in Brandon, Mississippi, and about 10 years ago we started branching off with our parts department, and we became one of the top 3 largest parts departments for powertrain, for engines and transmissions in the country. So in doing so, why not support the industry that supports the most powertrain, which is your performance engines and racing? And there's a need there that was not being filled. There was a customer base that was not being taken care of.
We keep the sealed crate motors in stock, the 602, the 604s, the 525s. Whether you're driving a late model or a modified or a street stock, we've got an engine for your car. We also carry the accessory kits, KRC drives. We also do Gary Williams carburetors. We've been in this for a couple years now, and we're doing it to benefit the racers.
Everyone is trying to get into racing, knows that it's not a cheap sport to get into. So price structure was a big thing in taking care of the racers, and we knew early on that we did not want to make this a profit center. We wanted to make it about the racers. Price is a big thing. However, customer service is where it's at. And we've had several instances where racetracks have called us and said, hey, we had a driver out here qualifying and their engine popped, and it's Friday night at 9 o'clock, and our team, Benny and Ryan, are calling me and saying, hey boss, we need to take care of this race car driver. Let's get them an engine as soon as possible. And they'll be here before sunrise the next morning on Saturday morning, pulling that engine, getting it to that person so they can get it installed and be racing that night. That's the kind of customer service we want to deliver.
The following is a special presentation of Crate Racin USA, America's leader in racing. This is Crate Racin USA Live.
They're side by side. The top 2 of the points are 4th and 5th right now. Here comes Jimmy Thomas. We're back underway out of turn 4. 13 circuits to go around the Talladega short track, and we now have ourselves a battle for the lead. Out of turn number 4, Jeremy Steele wins the Turkey 100. This is America's leader in racing, the Rogers Dab Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series 4-wide.
And now your host, Cody Earley.
Well, hello there again, and welcome in to another episode number 9 of Crate Racin USA Live. Hello, my name is Cody Earley. Glad to be with you tonight. Hey, and we have got a very cool episode. Tonight's episode is dedicated to the Magnolia State, a pair of drivers from the state of Mississippi that have been getting it done, so to speak, in their home state. Tonight, we'll talk with the newest winner of the Rogers Dabs Performance Parts Crate Racin USA Late Model Sportsman Tour, Chace Pennington. He picked up the feature win at Why Not Motorsports Park on Saturday night with the tour race, and we'll also chat with the man that currently sets atop of the Crate Racing USA Street Stock National Points at the ripe age of 17. Malachi Magee from Seminary, Mississippi will join us. He has racked up 5 wins so far in the 2026 season. What's more impressively, 14 top 5s in 18 events. We'll chat with that young man coming up tonight. But right now, it's time to get our episode started. As we do, we look back on the week that was. Last week was week number 12 in national competition. And, well, let's just say the week before, Mother Nature might have had the upper hand. This week, well, it might have been one of the busiest weekends we have had so far in 2026. We get things started on Friday night, May the 15th, the Baton Rouge Raceway in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They kick things off in the CRUSA Dirt Late Models. It was Brady Walton of Greenwell Springs, Louisiana, picking up the feature win. And in the CRUSA Street Stocks, it was Calvin Martin once again continuing his strong 2026. At Cedar Ridge Speedway in Morgantown, Kentucky, it was Bubba Vandergriff out of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, capturing the Crate Racing USA Street Stock feature win. Moved down to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Chase Cooper out of Perkinston, Mississippi, drove to victory lane in the CRUSA Dirt Late Models. Track announcer Ron Southern with the call.
Takes a white flag with a 7-second lead over the 11 of Brody Williams. Chase Cooper out of turn 2 down the backstretch for the final time, setting a blistering pace, took the lead on lap 3 and has not given up and takes the feature win here tonight at Hattiesburg Speedway.
And in the Street Stocks, one of our guests tonight, Malachi Magee. 4 wins on the year coming into this event. He went to victory lane. Here's Ron once again.
The 13M of Malachi Magee coming out of turn 4, looks at the white flag. Dylan Hamilton in the 22 is second, about 8 car lengths back, and then the 49 of Brandon Parker. Magee down the backstretch for the final time. Through turn 3, out of turn 4, your feature winner, the 13M of Malachi Magee.
At North Alabama Speedway in Tuscumbia, Alabama, they had a big factory stock show this past weekend, plus, of course, weekly divisions. It was Steven Isabel, the Mississippi driver, picking up an emotional win after the passing of his mom. It was earlier that day that they laid his mom to rest. We asked for everyone to send their thoughts and their prayers to Steven Isabel. He went to victory lane on Friday night in North Alabama. Track announcer Mark Mitchell called him to victory.
Out of turn number 4, white flag is out one more time around for Steven Isbell. Justin Jacobs going to make the pass for that second spot right at the flag stand. Down the back stretch, it's Isbell, Miller, Jacobs. Steven Isbell going to take the win.
And in the modified sportsman, it was Logan Hickerson out of Linden, Tennessee, going to victory lane.
98 of Logan Hickerson has the race lead by about a straightaway. Out of turn number 4, it's going to be Logan Hickerson. Cale Finley, Cowboy, Casey Crowell, your top 3.
We moved down to Milton, Florida on Friday night. It was a 2-day weekend, including the USCS Sprint Cars, and it was also the weekend where their next late model challenge event got underway, but that would come on Saturday night. Friday night, a lot of fans, a lot of fun, and in the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman, a lot of drama. Here's how things originally unfolded with track announcer Corey Roberts.
Mike giving to the Gulf Coast Trailer Rental green flag. We're racing once again. Cody Cook with a fantastic start. Side by side they go, beating and banging. 57 goes through to the point. Holy cow, all the way from 4th to 1st. Green, white, checkered, Lilla Precision, white flag is in the air. Who will it be coming to the stripe? 3/8 of a mile left to go. The 57 machine of Dale Lucas out in front, in command. No pressure behind him. Nearly 3 wide behind him for that 2 spot. And coming around to get your Adams Sanitation checkered flag. The 57 machine of Dale Lucas. Holy cow, what a race. What a battle, as there is a parking lot in turn 4.
Well, that's how it would end then, with second and third place getting into each other and totally taking themselves out. Well, the original winner of the race didn't pass post-race tech, and that sent Osmond Jones to victory lane. He picked up the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman win on Friday night. Waycross Motor Speedway was in action. They had the showdown at the Swamp. The Southern Thunder Super Dirt Series was in town. No weekly classes for the Crate Racing USA divisions on Friday night, but it was a good showing at Waycross for the folks down there with the Southern Thunder Super Dirt Series. We shift to Saturday night, May the 16th. Cottonwood Speedway had the Remembrance 100. Unfortunately, no results were posted for that, so we'll wait to see the end results for those activities this past weekend in Cottonwood, Alabama. Deep South Speedway had the rescheduled Forever 51 weekend. Bo Slay, the Milton, Florida driver, picked up the Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model victory. And in the street stocks, Calvin Martin, for the second time last weekend, doubled up and picked up his second win. To the Playground of Power on Saturday night, East Alabama Motor Speedway in Phoenix City, Alabama. The Topless Outlaw late models were in town. So were the Crate Racing USA 604 late models. It was Roderick Dykes out of Smith Station, Alabama, scoring the victory. And in the late model sportsman, it was Bubba Gorman, the hometown driver from Phoenix City, defending his home turf and picking up the win on Saturday night. Henry County Motorsports Park in Clewiston, Florida, it was the 3rd annual Karen Johnston Memorial. It was James Haynes out of Dover, Florida, picking up the $2,000 win on Saturday night. Back to Byram, Mississippi, and the Jackson Motor Speedway. Hayden Clyburn of Star, Mississippi won the Crate Racing USA Late Model Division, and Bobby Link of Brandon, Mississippi captured the Late Model Sportsman feature. And in the street stocks, Malachi Magee picked up his second win of the weekend. He won the street stock division on Saturday night at Jackson. Needmore Speedway in Norman Park, Georgia hosted the 7th annual Gene Main Memorial. It was the second CRUSA sanctioned track that hosted the Southern Thunder Super Dirt Series this past weekend, but it was on Saturday night. Landon Matthews of Dublin, Georgia picking up the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman win. Track announcer Jeffrey Godby.
White flag going in the air for Dublin, Georgia's Landon Matthews. Led from the drop of the green flag, had to hold off a Wiley McDaniel. But into turn number 3 and out of turn number 4. Dublin, Georgia's Landon Matthews will win the Rogers Dapps Performance Parts Late Model Sportsman main event here at the Needmore Speedway with the Gene Main Memorial 2026 edition.
Over to Guntown, Mississippi we go. It was a full night of Crate Racing USA Division action. It was Clint Busby of Luca, Mississippi picking up the Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model win. Alan Edwards of Starkville, Mississippi picked up the CRUSA Late Model Sportsman win. Here's track announcer Ross Tingle.
White flag one more time around for Alan Edwards. Mark McCoy is going to make one more run at him. Checkered flag, Alan Edwards wins it.
Justin Ray of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee topped the modified sportsman, and it was Johnny Kelly of Tupelo, Mississippi picking up the Crate Racing USA Street Stock win. Once again, track announcer Ross Tingle.
One to go this time by for the 80 car of Kelly. Johnny Kelly takes the white flag. Vandegrift right there behind him. And Lanny McCullough, still your top 3. Will Francis in the 37. Checker flag goes to Johnny Kelly. He wins it.
And back down to Southern Raceway we go in Milton, Florida. It was night number 2 of the USCS Sprint Car action alongside of Late Model Challenge round number 3. It was Cody Overton, Little Sexy, going to victory lane. The 3rd different winner in that Late Model Challenge series down in Milton, Florida. Here is series announcer Tommy Rowe.
Into turn number 3 and 4, Lyland Precision. White flag gonna need displayed for Cody Overton. Joseph Joyner in second, 1.8 back now. But they'll work down the back straightaway one final time. Flag to flag here tonight. Cody Overton will pick up the Adams Sanitation checkered flag.
And Wyatt Parker picked up the Crate Racing USA Street Stock win down in Milton. Super B Speedway had Bubba Mullins of West Monroe, Louisiana, continuing his strong season. He picked up the Crate Racing USA Late Model win. Over to Why Not we go, the House of Hook. The Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour was in hand. So was the CRUSA Late Models. It was Chris McElhaney doubling up on night number 2. He picked up a makeup feature and the main feature. Here is track announcer Chris Creighton on the call.
Chris McElhaney will bring it to the white flag one more time around for the Rocket. And here's the checker flag. Chris McElhaney takes it to victory lane. Here's the white flag one more time around the oval for Chris McElhaney. And Thrash may have a run on the 27 of Josh Smith. He takes over the second spot. Here comes the checkered flag. McElhaney goes back-to-back here tonight.
The Street Stock Division saw Jackson Moore out of Grenada, Mississippi, picking up the win. And, of course, one of our guests tonight, Chace Pennington, he picked up the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour win. Western Kentucky Speedway in Madisonville, Kentucky, saw Dustin Rollins of Princeton, Kentucky, pick up the Late Model Sportsman victory. And in the Street Stocks, it was Mike Neighbors going to victory lane. Windy Hollow Speedway, unfortunately, after what was going to be a huge weekend for them with the Sling and Dirt Super Late Models, rain spoiled the party on on Saturday at Extreme Speedway in Danville, Alabama. Wrapped up the weekend, it was Super Mario Gresham of Rome, Georgia, picking up the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman victory. And in the Modified Sportsman, it was Blaze Truell continuing to add wins to his 2026 season, going to victory lane. It was a fun week number 12 as we inch closer to the halfway point of the 2026 season. By far the busiest racing weekend we've had so far in national competition. We've had a lot of repeat winners, we had some breakout performances, and several drivers starting to put themselves in good places to chase those 2026 championships. Hey, we'd like to have you in on the fun. Make sure you get your Crate Racing USA license. You can do that by going to CrateRacingUSA.com, or you can even go to the My Race Pass and click on the option to get your membership and join us at one of 30 tracks across the Southeast, sanctioned by Crate Racing USA. Coming up, it's time to welcome our very first guest to the show. At the age of 17, Malachi Magee. He will be up next. We'll chat with him. You're listening to Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
When performance matters, champions choose Hoosier Racing Tires. As the largest race tire manufacturer in the world, Hoosier produces over 1,000 different types of race tires, engineered for speed, precision, and winning results. With cutting-edge technology like a 300-mile-per-hour test wheel, a state-of-the-art production facility, and advanced mixing plant, Hoosier continues to lead the way in racing innovation worldwide. Hoosier Racing Tires. We fuel passion, pride, and success with our tires designed for champions. Order today at HoosierTire.com or call 574-784-3152. Hoosier Racing Tires. Tires designed for champions.
Racers are dedicated to winning. And Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed Circle Track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance Circle Track crate engines are engineered to win. Right out of the box.
I'm Matt Williamson. You know, the thing with the VP Racing Oil is we trusted the fuel for so many years that it was easy to switch to the oil, and we're glad we did. The stuff is phenomenal. It's the best oil out there, and we have all the confidence in the world in every fluid we run on the race car because it comes from VP.
VP Fuel and Lubricants is the only oil and lubricants that we use in our 3-car program, and it's the only one we trust for that.
In racing, every edge matters. Next Racing Wheels may be new to the scene, but behind the name is over 35 years of innovation from Taylor TJ Weld. Built with 100% CNC precision, Next Wheels feature a one-piece center, bolted outer half, and an O-ring seal, eliminating leaks and weak points. And with bead screw technology, you get superior tire retention without the hassle of bead locks. Stronger, lighter, built to handle the abuse while reducing deflection for better traction and balance. Plus, the bolt-together design means faster repairs and more money in your pocket. Innovation, performance, value. Check us out at nextracingwheels.com or find us on Instagram. Next Racing Wheels. The future is next.
Feel the thunder. Experience the heart-pounding action of Crate Racing USA from dirt tracks across the South. Catch every lap, every pass,
3 wide, just momentarily for the
every victory with Crate Racing USA TV.
The modified main event on this Friday night.
Watch live events or dive into on-demand replays anytime. Whether it's a single night shootout or a full weekend of racing, you're in control. Never miss a moment. Watch from anywhere. Visit CrateRacingUSA.tv now for upcoming events and full race replays. Crate Racing USA TV, America's leader in racing.
Down into turn 1 and 2, your leader, the 13M of Malachi Magee. Bryce Chesney in second, Calvin Martin in third. Out of turn 4, it is Malachi Magee with the win here at Hattiesburg Speedway. The 13M of Malachi Magee coming out of turn 4, looks at the white flag. Dylan Hamilton in the 22 is second, about 8 car lengths back, and then the 49 of Brandon Parker. Magee down the backstretch for the final time. through turn 3, out of turn 4, your feature winner, the 13M of Malachi Magee.
It's track announcer Ron Southern saying a name he's getting pretty familiar with, saying at the Hattiesburg Speedway, and that name just happens to be our next guest. That is Malachi Magee from Seminary, Mississippi. Malachi, welcome to Crate Racing USA Live.
How are you?
Doing good, man. Glad to have you on the show. What a season 2026 has been for you so far. Take us through kind of what 2026 has been. 18 features. I know you've got the 5 wins, and those wins are very important. But, man, 14 of those 18 features in the national points, you've been in the top 5. Just kind of take us through what 2026 has been so far for you.
It's been a good season so far. We've had 5 wins. I'm very blessed to have a new car and a great support behind me. It took some time to get the car figured out once we first got it, and working out some kinks still, and we're still getting faster weekly and trying to improve and constantly learning new things about it.
I was going to say, for the competition, that might not be a good thing if you're still getting better, considering 14 top 5s in those 18 features, and only one time in those 18 you finished outside of the top 10. 17 top 10s. That is pretty impressive. Well, you know, I look at the standings. You're currently atop of what people call the baddest street stocks in the planet for a kid that's 17 years of age. What does that mean to you?
It's just great, you know. Being at the top is great. We've came a long way since we first started, and it's just we got more to come.
We're talking with Malachi Magee from Seminary, Mississippi. He currently sits atop of the Crate Racing USA Street Stock National Standings, the National Point Standings, which, by the way, will crown champions at the year-end banquet when we wrap up 2026. Well, Malachi, kind of tell the folks out there, I can't say the long career because you are 17 years old,
yes,
but kind of tell us about what got you into racing. Where did it all start for you?
So I started racing. Before I started racing, I was watching at a local track, Hattiesburg, with me and my grandpa. I never thought I'd be there because nobody in my family's ever raced before. I mentioned it to my parents one week, and then the next week came around. I was looking on Marketplace, and we went and picked up a car. And then from there, we needed something better, so we got another car, and that was the car we came 6th in national points. We got 2 wins from it last year. And once I got into racing, I realized it's more than just driving. It takes time and dedication and lots of hours in the shop. Racing has become a big part of my life. I hope to continue to just learn new things.
And you mentioned that season a year ago, 35 features altogether for you. And that would have been at age, 16 a year ago?
Yes, sir. When I first started, I was 15, and that was at the end of 2024 season. I was 15 then, and then we started at the end of it.
So what goes through your parents' mind when you are old enough to get a permit, not even really to have your full driver's license? You're like, hey, I want to go race cars.
Oh, they didn't know about it at first because my stepdad, he's never even been to a racetrack. My mom went some when she was a kid with my grandpa. So it was a shocker to them. Never thought I'd be here today where I am.
Well, I'll tell you what, where you are is the top of probably one of the most competitive divisions there is when it comes to racing, especially under the Crate Racing USA brand. Those standings, 45, it's not just you kind of up there hanging out just barely at the top. You got a 45-point advantage over Carlos Williamson. And then you got Calvin Martin, who, when it comes to these street stocks, he has been he's been the alpha, so to speak, especially in this national division. And he's 66 points back, and it's a pretty good gap back to Bubba Vandergriff in 4th. When you look at the season so far that you've had, what's kind of some goals for you? I know we're really starting racing season is 12 months, pretty much.
Yes,
that's
sir.
how things go. When you look at the season, you're getting into the summer months. What's some goals for you now that you're at the top? Where are you kind of setting your standards going into the summer?
I would like to keep a lead and win this thing or wrap it up. And I've always wanted to win it since I first started racing. I've always tried hard for it. Last year, we we raced hard for it. And then this year we're racing even harder. And we've been having to travel lately because of the weather, and it ain't been easy. And I would also like to travel to a street stock series like next year and learn some new tracks and being able to adapt to new surfaces. Actually, I want to go to late model and turn it into a career.
I was going to say, you mentioned the travel side of things. You all actually went up with the Southern Dirt Street Stock Series up to Paducah here recently, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what was that like going from the weekly racing kind of somewhat close to home to making the trip somewhere totally different in a different state?
Oh, it was fun. It was no doubt about it. It was fun. The traveling, I like it. Just getting to learn new things and the different environment and.
Well, you mentioned that as far as in the family goes, nobody really in the family has got a past history of racing. Who's some folks around you that you're kind of leaning on? Who's some people that you got that's kind of in your corner that, hey, if you got a question, you got something you want to know, who's some folks that's kind of you're leaning on to get some advice from?
Mickey helps me some. Mickey T, he actually helps me a lot with all my setups and whatever I need. We go to his shop, and he actually went to Kentucky with us.
Kind of what was that experience like going up there and that place? For the folks that's never been to Paducah, that's a big place.
Yes, sir. It was big. It was a lot of banking. You can just seems like you would slide to the bottom of the track when you got on it.
So 17 years of age, graduating this year, already graduated?
I got one more year left to high school.
So how are you balancing that? That's going to be the next question I'm asking. What's the balance like trying to make both of those work?
Oh, it's hard for sure. I got a lot of absences. We're hoping they're going to pass me, and that's what we hope for. We hope we don't get held back for that. But other than that, we're passing school, and we're doing good in that. And we're just trying to race. Win this points.
A doctor's excuse to be able to go racing. Now that needs to be mandatory, right?
Yes, sir. I might need a Crate Racing USA doctor's excuse.
We'll see if maybe we can get Adam to get a doctor's degree or something and maybe make that happen. We're talking with Malachi Magee, the national points leader, the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Street Stock Division. 5 wins so far in 2026 in 18 features. We mentioned more impressively 14 top 5, 17 top 10s in those 18 features. This past weekend, really good weekend for you. Was able to double up 2 wins at 2 different tracks.
Yes, sir. It was a good weekend. We won the heat race, and then we won the feature both nights, and we led all the laps of the race.
So what does that mean to you to be able to, obviously these are 2 tracks you're familiar to, but what does it mean that you can take your program and you're still learning and still getting used to a new car and go to 2 totally different racing tracks and still have the same results?
Oh, it's good, just being able to adapt and learn what we can do and get better.
Well, you talked a little bit about, you kind of hit on just a little bit there going forward. Goals, what's some things? I know you said you wanted to kind of hit some street stock touring events. What's some goals right now that you've kind of set for yourself to kind of approach, especially this year and maybe down the road?
To win the points, and I guess we would travel the Kelly Trucking Series next year, and we might go to some more this year and try to get some bigger wins on the books.
Well, when you talk about big wins and you go to the street stock division, a lot of people say there is nothing bigger in the division than the street stock nationals that happen at Why Not? What's kind of your mindset? Is that an event you guys are gonna try to chase this year?
Yes, sir. We will be at Street Stock Nationals. We just got to get some practice in up there because ever since I've started racing, I've struggled there a lot. And that's one of the tracks I struggle with the most. But we want to improve there a lot. hope we can get it figured out.
What's something about that place? You say you struggle there. What's something about that place that I like asking drivers what frustrates them? What's something about Why Not that frustrates you that you just can't quite get a grasp on?
I don't know. It's a lot on the gas, and it's not going down to the curve and slowing down and racing back to the other turn, I guess it would be.
And a very unique racing surface too. That's something I feel like, we've got a lot of tracks that have like the gumbo, or you've got the gray clay at Sonoa. That's kind of the thing at Why Not. It doesn't look that way when you first get there, but when you get on it, it's just its own monster.
Yes, sir. It's a great track though. Other than that, there's nothing wrong with it. It's probably one of the best tracks around. It's just we ain't got it figured out yet.
Well, hopefully that's going to turn around, and hopefully that's something that you can put in that resume as you continue to grow and continue to learn. And the crazy thing is the leaps and bounds, and that was something else too. The jump from last year to this year, and for yourself, obviously, I know you feel like you can get it done. But what do you think is the big difference from when you ended the year last year to where you've got things going into this year?
I think it's a lot. Maybe the open motor, we were spinning a lot. And then we had some practice over the off season of the Crate Racing USA. And we was doing good at the end of the season. We started doing pretty good. And that's when we got our 2 wins, was at the end.
So really continuing the momentum from 2025 and bringing it into 2026. You kind of talked there just a little bit ago. You kind of hinted at the 2 words late model. Is that something that eventually you want to try to do? I know a lot of these guys, we're seeing a lot of late model guys now coming back and getting back into the street stock, saying that they kind of like it a little more. Is the late model something eventually you would like to do?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to do that, or even go to Super. We just got to get a little more seat time and get it all figured out, and then we'll try that, see how it goes. Go from there.
Indeed. And seat time is definitely something. I mentioned 35 features for you a year ago. You're getting ready to hit the last couple of weeks of May, and here you are with 18 already in your back pocket. Who's some folks that Malachi Magee would like to thank that's supporting this program, whether it's family, it's sponsors? Who's the supporting cast that's behind this 13M?
I would like to thank my mom and my stepdad and all they do, and Mickey that helps me, does the setups, and then all my sponsors that helped me, and the new ones that have come aboard on sponsoring, and all my family that comes with me weekly and helps me, and all my friends and family.
Malachi Magee currently sits atop of the baddest street stocks in the planet. National standings right now with the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Street Stock Series. 5 wins already in the 2026 season. Man, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time. We definitely want to say best of luck the rest of the season, and hopefully when the season ends, we're chatting with you at the awards banquet as the number 1 man in the standings when it's all said and done.
Yes, sir. I sure hope so, and thank you for having me.
Malachi Magee, our first guest tonight on Crate Racing USA Live. Coming up, we'll dive into the touring side of things. The 604s, they head to Alltech. The 602s, a doubleheader weekend at Magnolia Motor Speedway. We'll talk that and more coming up on Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
Need speed? Need parts? Need results? Head to Knowles Race Parts and Bodies in Rome, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for everything racing. From a full line of race parts, shock and setup services, to VP Racing fuels and lubricants, Hoosier Racing tires, and Chevrolet Performance Circle Track engines, Knowles has what it takes to get you to victory lane. Plus, with many parts in stock, you won't be waiting when it matters most. Have questions? They've got answers and the experience to back it up. Remember, Knowles knows race parts and bodies. Call 678-414-4655 or email cdkknowles66@hotmail.com today.
When it comes to race day safety, don't take chances. The Fire Suit Lady has you covered. Velocita by Melissa Markowitz is your go-to source for top quality safety gear, including SFI certified suits, gloves, shoes, and head and neck restraints, plus the latest 2025 Snell rated ZAMP helmets. Whether you're gearing up for the first time or upgrading your equipment, Melissa will make sure you get the right fit and the right protection. Trust experience, trust safety. Velocita by Melissa Markowitz. Don't take chances.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Scorpion Race Cars, home of the Scorpion chassis in Phoenix City, Alabama, is your home for anything racing. From complete cars to any level of fabrication or repairs you need. We're a dealer for all the top brands of racing parts, fuel, and more. Need a complete setup? Give us a call today for your appointment. 334-448-0604. Scorpion Race Cars has over 50 years experience in the business. Find us on Facebook at Scorpion Race Cars or call us today. 334-448-0604.
The baddest street stocks on the planet return to Why Not in 2026. Don't miss the Southern Street Stock Nationals, featuring the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks in a must-see weekend. Over 200 plus entries 1 year ago, and entertainment all weekend long, including live music. It's the Southern Street Stock Nationals at Why Not Motorsports Park, August 12th through the 15th. It's a must-see weekend. Be there.
Race fans have a home on Speed Sport 1. Feel the roar of IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series. Experience the power of American muscle with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Speed Sport 1 has a wide variety of motorsports competition that will satisfy your inner racer. From IMCA dirt track action to Ferrari Challenge North America. Speed Sport 1 is 24/7. Go to speedsport1.com for details and viewing options.
Can't make it to the track? Crate Racing USA TV has you covered. From live events to on-demand replays, Crate Racing USA TV is your go-to for everything Crate Racing USA. Watch from anywhere at any time. Simply visit CrateRacingUSA.tv and never miss a lap. Remember, if you've got that on-demand replay subscription, you get $4.99 off every weekend package. So check that out right now at CrateRacingUSA.tv. Welcome back in Crate Racing USA Live. My name is Cody Earley. It's time to dive into the touring side of things. And last weekend, it was the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour getting back to work. They went to the House of Hook, Why Not Motorsports Park last Saturday night, and an event that it was only the second time in series history that the tour had been there. Tyler Burgess picked up the inaugural win back in 2024. 19 competitors on hand Saturday night at the House of Hook, and when it was all said and done, a guy that's very familiar with Victory Lane at not only Why Not, but where the series goes this week to Victory Lane, Magnolia, Chace Pennington picked up the win. We're actually going to have Chace on the show coming up next as our special guest, but he was the winner on Saturday night. Caleb Ashby, what a run from him. Started 12th, rallied 10 spots up to second, and I tell you what, that rally right there was good enough to give him the points lead when the series comes out of Why Not and heads to Magnolia. It's pretty cool considering the series has had 21 races. He has been a part of all 21 of them. Andy Pippin finished third. Colby Pons was fourth. Dustin Harris, another driver that's battling for that championship, he finished in the fifth spot. That's important for him. We'll talk points in just a moment. RJ Emerson was sixth. Seventh place was Brody Thompson. Eighth place was Brennan Shirley. Griffith Jones was ninth, and Brandon Lunsford rounded out the top 10. You heard a lot of names you're going to hear me mention again when we talk about the points coming out of Why Not? Well, this is how things shape up out of the back-to-back weekends now that Magnolia is ready this weekend. The point standings go like this. Caleb Ashby at the top, a 4-point advantage over the guy I just mentioned a few moments ago, Dustin Harris. The pair of Tennessee State drivers holding the top side of the point standings. How about that? Shout out to the Volunteer State. Proud of my home state. Griffin Jones is in third. He's back 10 points. Brody Thompson back 16 points. Joey Tucker rounds out the top 5 with 22 points back. It's 24 points back to Stephen Bryant. Brandon Shirley, he is in 7th, 26 points back. And then 8th place is Devin Watley. Those 8 drivers, they have been to They've been to both events so far, and right now they set all within 46 points of the top spot as the series gets ready to head to Magnolia this weekend. The MAG welcomes the 602 Sportsman World Championship. It is a 5,000 to win weekend for the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour. Matches the highest payout total of the 2026 season. This is the first of 2 of those 5,000s to win. We'll have another one later on in the season. They'll be ready to go this weekend. Crate Racing USA Street Stocks Modified Sportsman will be on the racetrack Sunday. That's right. It's Saturday and Sunday this weekend at the MAG. Factory Stocks and Crown Vics will also join the party. Weather is a big question, and that's something that hopefully, if not, you've already heard information as far as the weather goes for this weekend. Keep an eye on the Crate Racing USA Facebook pages for all the details. You'll be able to watch this weekend. If you can't make it, Crate Racing USA TV and the mag.tv will have coverage of all the racing going on at the MAG, Magnolia Motor Speedway, this weekend for the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour. And as I mentioned, Chase Pennington will be our next guest on the show coming up in just a little bit. Well, not only the 602 Tour in action this weekend, the 604 Series is ready to head back to the Sunshine State. They will head to the All-Tech Raceway for the 6th annual Harvey Jones Memorial, paying $10,000 to win this weekend. It's the first time since 2024 that the series has been at the All-Tech Raceway. And, of course, last year, the event, a non-sanctioned event, it went to Austin Yarborough. Boy, Austin would like to repeat that and go back-to-back and get himself even closer in this hunt for the championship as Joseph Brown continues to hold the top spot. It's a 10-point gap. Not only back to Austin Yarborough, but Diesel Jones. They set tied for that runner-up spot. Griffin Smith is 4th. He is the most recent winner on the tour back at Dixie. And then it's Bubba Rolling who sets in the 5th spot. Chase Giddens, Austin Bloodworth, Joey Armistead, Jonah Bozeman, Caleb Gay round out the top 10. That's the championship standings. The Cruise with the Champion Rookie of the Year race. Right now, Diesel Jones and Griffin Smith, 4 points separate them at the top of that, but we now know Diesel Jones, Griffin Smith, Chase Giddens, Austin Bloodworth, Joey Armistead, and Jonah Bozeman, those are your Cruise with the Champion Rookie of the Year contenders. Not only are you chasing that name, you're chasing the championship and a whole nother payout for the top 4 when it comes to that Rookie of the Year race. So that will definitely be something that we keep our eyes on. There'll be no broadcast this weekend at All-Tech Raceway, so you can keep up on the My Race Pass and, of course, on the Crate Racing USA Facebook page. We'll do our best to keep you updated. If you can't make it to All-Tech this weekend, since the race will not be on Crate Racing USA TV, stay close to those cell phones, those mobile devices, My Race Pass, and, of course, Crate Racing USA's Facebook page will keep you up to date on everything going on this weekend from All-Tech. It's a busy stretch for the Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series. Why do I say that? It's All-Tech this weekend. Next weekend, the Sonora Raceway welcomes the series. It will be a $5,000 to win coming up Saturday night, May the 30th. The next weekend, this is where there's a change in the schedule. I know you saw this announcement probably this week. Tazewell and Thunder Mountain, they have flip-flopped. Tazewell, the inaugural Jimmy Pup Thomas Memorial, it'll be a $3,000 to win now on Friday, June the 5th. And on Saturday, June the 6th, the Thunder Mountain Speedway will host the Tennessee-Kentucky Borderline War. It'll pay $5,000 to win, the very first time ever the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series has ever been to Thunder Mountain, and it's our lone trip to the Bluegrass State in 2026. So Kentucky, we're coming to see you. America's leader in racing will be there Saturday, June 6th. The next weekend, it's Modoc, Saturday, June the 13th, and then June 20th, Why Not Motorsports Park. That's right. So if you're keeping track, that's 5 straight weekends with the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series. We'll take a week off, and then we jump into the month of July. pair of races at Cochran Motor Speedway. That's Christmas in July. I know we mentioned there might be a Rudolph or a Santa sighting down there in Cochran somewhere. And then we'll go back-to-back nights at Magnolia for the 22nd Annual Governor's Cup. That is Friday, July the 10th, and Saturday, July the 11th. That's what's going on with the series. Now, when it comes to the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour, well, they'll race this weekend at Magnolia, and then they go back into kind of a break before they get back into action. In June, they'll head to the Extreme Speedway in Danville, Alabama. They'll be there for a one-day $2,500 to win, and then that is, of course, June the 20th. Then they go in July. They'll have a pair of shows at Pine Ridge, the Rumble at the Ridge. It'll be $1,000 to win July 3rd. It'll be $2,500 to win July 4th, and then the month of August, they'll join the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour. Will join the Dirt Late Model Series August 21st at Pennington for a $1,500 to win, and Sonoa for a $2,000 to win on August the 22nd. Everything I just told you, you can find at CrateRacingUSA.com. You can also get on the My Race Pass app if you want to look up the Late Model Sportsman Tour information, whether it's news, schedules, results, points. You can find it all. Just type in CRUSA Late Model Sportsman Tour in the search bar on My Race Pass, and you can do the same for the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series. All that on the My Race Pass app. That's the way things shape up. A big weekend for the touring series this weekend. Fingers crossed as long as Mother Nature cooperates. Coming up, our second guest on the show. He was a winner on Saturday night at Why Not, and he sets his sights on possibly going back-to-back at the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour because he heads to another very familiar track, Magnolia, this weekend. Chace Pennington, he joins us next. You're listening to Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
As far as I can remember, my dad was always buying VP fuel. And then once I got to a certain level of racing where I was good enough, I was sponsored by VP, and I believe VP my whole entire career is what I ran with at Mitch's at Pro Circuit, and then also Factory Kawasaki. So very reliable fuel, it makes good power, and you can relatively get it anywhere. So that's the beauty of VP, is always supporting our sport and making sure that we all have fuel to go racing.
Looking for the ultimate racing getaway? Then pack your bags and join us for the 28th annual Cruise with the Champions, January 17th through the 23rd, 2027. Set sail on the beautiful Carnival Vista for a 6-day Eastern Caribbean adventure featuring stops at Amber Cove, Half Moon Key, and Celebration Key. This is your chance to relax, connect, and hang out with your racing family away from the track. But listen up. Cabins are limited, and if you want to be close to your crew, you need to get that deposit in now. Got a Carnival code? Be sure to let us know, and always compare pricing to get the best deal. Interior, ocean view, and balcony rooms are available, but they won't last long. Got questions? Call or text 678-414-6970 today. Cruise with the Champions, where racing meets paradise.
Need reliable equipment to power your next project? Westpro JCB has you covered. From durable mini excavators to cutting-edge teleskids, we offer solutions that deliver performance and precision. Visit westprojcb.com today and upgrade your fleet with machines you can trust.
Whether you're a race team, track, series, or business, Matman Designs has you covered. We offer high-quality logo mats, solid mats, rubber logo scraper mats, outdoor scraper mats, Versalite mats, and even custom graphic design services to bring your brand to life. At Matman Designs, we take pride in top-notch customer service and durable, eye-catching products built to perform. Visit matmandesigns.com or find us on Facebook today for pricing tailored to your specific needs. Matman Designs, where your brand stands out from the ground up.
It's time to level up your collection at Columbus Sports Cards. We're talking sports cards, Pokemon cards, and must-have sports memorabilia. Buy, sell, or trade it all in one place. Pulling heat, chasing legends, and stacking your best collection starts here. 5880 Veterans Parkway in Columbus, Georgia. 706-507-9277. Catch the action live on Whatnot and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and eBay. Open Monday through Friday 10 till 7 and Saturdays 10 to 3. Columbus Sports Cards.
Here comes Chace Pennington in the 54 car. Pennington slides him down in turn number 4. Who'll have it? Chace Pennington that time by with 10 complete. And Chace Pennington looks like he's checked out for the 54 car of Chace Pennington. There he is, your leader. Off of turn number 4, checkered flag wave. Chace Pennington wins it.
Pennington picks up the white flag. Coming to the double checkered flag. It's going to be Chace Pennington. Starting out really strong this year. My goodness gracious.
The voice of the Why Not Motorsports Park, Chris Creighton, leading us through the victory on Saturday night of the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour, where the 18th different all-time winner captured the checkered flag on Saturday night. And that's our next guest here on Crate Racing USA Live, Chace Pennington. Chace, welcome in.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good. Congratulations, first off, picking up the win on Saturday night. An emotional win. You could tell when you climbed out of the race car. Man, that meant something to you on Saturday night, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Why Not's kind of kicked their teeth in the last couple of weeks we've been there. So we was pretty tickled to find some speed and be able to stay out front.
Yeah, and getting your first ever Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour win, that's a big deal too. There's some pretty big names that have added their names to that list, even though it's only the third year of that deal. You went into that. The only thing you didn't do, I think, was set fast time. But, man, that opening lap, you got around Pippin on that opening lap, and this thing was just on a rail.
Yeah, it really was. I knew Pippin was going to be tough. Of course, that's the same guy that's outrun me the last 2 times we've been there. So I knew we was going to have to be good on the start. So I just kind of sent it in there as best I could, and we was able to go and roll around them. And once you get out in clean air, it seems like it's kind of hard to pass. So.
Well, a lot of people say 2 of the most difficult racetracks to get a handle on are Why Not and Magnolia, and you seem to be really good at both of these. What is so difficult about trying to get around Why Not?
I don't know. It seems like it can be super hammered down for a lot of the night, and then all of a sudden it wants to change on you, and it'll be super slick. And it seems like the slick at Magnolia is, I don't know. It's like you're expecting it to be slicker at Magnolia, and then when Why Not gets slick, it catches you off guard, and you're behind the track a little bit. So it's you got to be ahead of it, and to be any kind of good.
And indeed, found a way to be good at it on Saturday night. Picked up the win, the $2,000 payday, and some momentum. Speaking of momentum, let's go back 1 year to 2025. The national points comes down to you and Brett White. Here we go, the last weekend, and 2 points, man. 2 points separated you from being able to pick up that first ever national championship. But what a year last year was. You ended up with 12 national points wins. You had 15 top 5s in 17 features. I mean, that in itself is a pretty special feat, and 15 top 10s to go along with that. What is it that you feel like in your driving style has really kind of gotten you to where you are consistency wise?
I don't know, man. That's it is a tough question to answer. I don't know. I mean, I felt like we've always been a top 3 car. We could always run top 5. It just seemed like we was always lacking just that little bit to be able to get it done. And I really feel like we might have found that speed we was looking for in the shop. That's kind of, I guess, cliche. I don't know if that's the word, but everybody says you got to find speed in the shop. And I feel like me and Dad have really found, a good maintenance routine that we've been doing every week. And it seems like it's definitely not hurting us. I don't know for a fact that that's what's winning us races, but it's definitely not hurting us in the long run.
And we've had some other drivers, I think, mention that, you can adjust yourself out of a race car, so to speak. You get to a racetrack and you start changing this and changing that. Next thing you know, you're further behind than when you got there. Is that something you guys have kind of adapted to? You kind of made your changes you need to make before you get there. That way, when you get to the racetrack, hey, it's unload and let's go.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's the real benefit of being, I've got a lot of laps around Y9 and a lot of laps around the mag, so we of course those are home tracks, so I feel like we do have a little bit of a leg up on the competition, not really, but that's a big deal to be able to kind of have you're in the ballpark where you need to be, and yeah, you don't want to adjust yourself out of the race for sure.
And with these Crate Racing USA late model Sportsman, the 602 Chevrolet Performance engine, these machines, it's all about consistency. And what is it about maybe your driving style that allows you to be able to keep that? I noticed that at Why Not the other night. You had that lead and you kept extending it, but just being able to keep that engine as steady and as consistent as you can.
I think really the balance, you're trying to get the balance between where that motor makes the best power. And like you said, if you kill momentum in these cars, it's so hard. I mean, it takes you 2 or 3 laps just to get back going again. And that really hurts you big time. But yeah, I mean, it goes back to having the car pretty close to where it needs to be, to where it can stay balanced and you don't have to really bend the car to turn it. You just kind of keep it under you the whole time, which, I mean, that's how it is in all racing, I guess. But that's just the main thing you got to keep in the back of your head.
We're talking with Chace Pennington from Steens, Mississippi, the most recent winner of the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour on Saturday night at Why Not. He'll look to possibly go back-to-back this weekend as the series heads to Magnolia. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, Chace, let's find out what is the background. What's your story? Kind of tell us where it all started. Maybe go as far back as whenever you realized, hey, I like race cars. What's kind of the backstory? What gets Chace Pennington to the point to you're in victory lane on Saturday night at Why Not?
Well, me and my dad, I will say, I don't know exactly what year we started going. As far back as I can remember as a little kid, we always loved going to the racetrack. My granddad always used to go with us a lot. My uncle, I mean, we all just love racing. We never was in a position to be able to race, because racing is a pretty expensive hobby or sport to get into. But it seemed around 2018, that was the year I actually graduated in 17 to 18 is when we finally were in a position to get one. My dad was, pretty much in a position to get one. And that's pretty much where it took off from there, was around 17 and 18.
So straight to late models. Was it a late model right off the bat for you?
It was, yeah. We jumped into I think it was just called, I don't know if it was Durance Lane 602s then. I'm not real sure, but it was straight into 602 late model.
So starting in 2018 and going to where you are now, what's some of the changes as far as driving? What's some of the things that you feel like adapted to now compared to maybe when you first got in that car in 2018?
I think we've adapted around to our biggest, I don't know what exactly. The biggest change I feel like we've made is trying to make sure we keep the most momentum in a car on the track. It seemed like you go back and watch old videos, and we were just kind of real slow around the bottom, around the tires. Really wasn't getting the car, bent, wasn't really keeping no momentum. It just seemed like, because the cars aren't much different than they were then. It just seems like a lot of the class, it seems like we picked up speed and just kept more momentum going around the track. We didn't really slow down and ease around the tires like we used to.
And you having an event like Saturday night at Why Not, where some guys come in from out of town, and you're going to have that again this weekend at Magnolia. What does it mean to you, knowing that, you're still 2018, that wasn't that long ago. You're still fairly new to this racing thing. But what's it mean to you to be able to say, hey, you held off some of the best in this division?
It's pretty cool. Like, I told you, it just seems it's cool to be able to stay out front with several guys that have a lot of experience at other tracks. And that alone helps you be faster anyway. When you run at different tracks and run with different people, that by itself makes your skill set, it definitely makes it go up. But yeah, it's it's pretty cool. Like I said, I feel like it means we're definitely heading in the right direction. So we just need to keep going that same way.
We're talking with Chace Pennington, the most recent winner with the Late Model Sportsman Tour on Saturday night at Why Not. Well, so far, the national points season just outside of the top 10, not only by about 9 points, I think, sitting in 11th going into week 13 this weekend. 7 counted races so far, and here we go again. 6 top 5s and 6 top 10s along with those 3 wins. What's kind of some goals? Obviously, you done this a year ago. You ended up just those 2 points short as we set about 3 weeks away from the halfway point of the season. What's kind of some goals right now? What's something you want to focus on as you get ready to head into the summer?
We really just want to focus on being consistent. We can't stand going to the racetrack and knowing, that we prepared all week for a good finish and then something crazy happens, but we just want to stay consistent because we know when we got a good piece under us, so we just gotta make it happen. But I'd be lying to say if I didn't want to try to get that national championship, that'd be pretty cool to get. We're definitely going in that direction, but like I said, we got to stay consistent. Because it's going to be hard because like you said, we're a little deep right now, but it's going to be hard to catch back up. But it ain't nothing we can't do because last year we was behind for a while and we just stayed consistent and we made it up to second. But yeah, I'd like to stay consistent, try to win a national championship, a couple track championships. That'd be pretty cool.
So we know Why Not. We know Magnolia. Is there some other places that you kind of go to? Is there some other tracks that maybe you visit during the year? And is there some tracks maybe you've got on your list? I want to at least go here and try this.
Yeah, and then we run at Pine Ridge. I can't remember how many. I think it was 3 or 4 races last year at Pine Ridge, and that guy, he's kind of turned that track around up there, and it's turned out pretty good. And there's some stiff competition that races up there every week too, so it's not something easy to go up there and run good. I mean, you got to be on your A game to go up there and run good too in Guntown. But I mean, we've went to West Alabama a couple of times. I did want to go to the touring race in North Alabama, but it got rained out earlier this year. Of course, we want to go to Extreme Speedway. We definitely, there's some stiff competition over there that we want to go try to race with too. So,
and that's one thing that I think that we're starting to see with the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman. You really hit that a nail on the head. We have, I think there's 8 guys that's run both events so far, but it's very interesting to see when the touring series comes to town, especially you mentioned some of the racetracks, these guys that cut their teeth here week in and week out, you'd better have your stuff together when you roll off the trailer.
Yeah, you're right. Because you definitely know. The guys that are there every week, they know how that track is going to react for the most part through the night. And as far as just gear is a big thing with these tracks, especially when you're changing, straightaway links. It's a major deal too. So if you're off just by a little bit in qualifying, it's putting you behind early in the night. So and it's tough to overcome that most of the time.
So the big question, we come out of Why Not last weekend. We're going to another track that you really, really like in Magnolia. It's $5,000 to win this weekend in the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour 602 World Championship. Mindset going into the week, obviously, the number one mindset I think everybody right now is trying to figure out which weather app is going to lie to them and which one's going to tell the truth.
Correct.
Looking at that weekend, seeing a $5,000 payday, what's kind of your mindset? Where are you at when it comes to thinking about what could happen this weekend if this race is able to happen?
Man, it would. I'd be lying to say if I didn't have the confidence to be able to win. I know we got the equipment to win it. It really just boils down to between the seat and the steering wheel if you can get it done or not. But yeah, we've definitely had some success at the mag, and like I said, I'd be lying to say I didn't have the confidence that we could win it. But it's all got to line up. It's got to line up. Cars got to play the exact way you need them to, and you got to be able to hold on for 50 laps because that's going to probably, like I said, the competition is going to be a lot stiffer. You kind of got to be on your A game for sure.
Well, it all happens this weekend, Magnolia Motor Speedway. It's round number 3 of the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour. $5,000 to the winner coming up on Sunday night. I keep having to remind myself that. It's Saturday and Sunday. Well, Chace, after the win at Why Not, I noticed Victory Lane, you had 2 boss ladies in Victory Lane. I'm sure that's part of your big support group when it comes to being on the road and racing.
It is my wife and my baby sailor. Marley, my wife. She's a trooper for sure. It takes a lot of long hours in the shop, and she's pretty much here at the house taking care of the baby by herself. And I definitely couldn't do it without her. It's them two have definitely pushed me a lot further than most folks have for sure. But them two are my biggest supporters for sure.
And as far as the race car goes itself, you got some great support behind you in that 54.
I do. We had some great people jump on board with us a couple years ago. Jamie and Manissa at Columbus Orthopedic. They are been so great to me and in our little racing program for sure. And we couldn't do it without them. Columbus Orthopedic and Meridian Orthopedic, they're two together, and they've all been very supportive, and I couldn't do it without them. I got several buddies that's jumped on. Our buddy Adam, he's a longtime family friend of all of us, and he's definitely helped us out the last couple of years. I got to give my grandmother a huge amount of praise. She's taking care of the baby anytime we need to, so that's why we got G-Mall's baby service on the side of it for sure. I got, several others, Twisted Wraps, Acme Window Tinting, RGP Services, and our guy, Mark Tudor. He's been a very big help to us the last couple of years, and I couldn't be more thankful of all of them.
Well, man, it sounds like a great group of folks behind you. It sounds like another good season starting to build. And I'm going to ask, because I know a lot of people's going to ask, what would it mean to you to leave Magnolia this weekend with back-to-back wins?
Shoot, I couldn't even tell you. I probably wouldn't be able to talk. I'd just be able to scream more than likely, but it'd be good. Racing's expensive, so I definitely need that to go back into the racing fund for sure.
Well, Chace, man, we appreciate you. We wish you the best of luck this weekend hunting a second win in a row in the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour ranks. If that happens, you'll tie Mario Gresham, Bryson Mitchell, and Mark Whitener as the only 3 drivers to ever win 2 in this deal. So we wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for sharing some time with us this evening, and look forward to hopefully seeing that 54 car maybe go back to Victory Lane this weekend.
Me too. I sure do appreciate it.
All right, Chace Pennington, our second guest tonight on Crate Racing USA Live. When we return, we wrap up the show. We take a look at what's coming up this weekend, week 13 of competition, as we celebrate the Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk about that coming up. You're listening to Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
Feel the thunder. Experience the heart-pounding action of Crate Racing USA from dirt tracks across the South. Catch every lap, every pass,
3 wide, just momentarily for the
every victory with Crate Racing USA TV.
The modified main event on this Friday night.
Watch live events or dive into on-demand replays anytime. Whether it's a single night shootout or a full weekend of racing, you're in control. Never miss a moment. Watch from anywhere. Visit CrateRacingUSA.tv now for upcoming events and full race replays. Crate Racing USA TV, America's leader in racing.
When performance matters, champions choose Hoosier Racing Tires. As the largest race tire manufacturer in the world, Hoosier produces over 1,000 different types of race tires, engineered for speed, precision, and winning results. With cutting-edge technology like a 300-mile-per-hour test wheel, a state-of-the-art production facility, and advanced mixing plant, Hoosier continues to lead the way in racing innovation worldwide. Hoosier Racing Tires. We fuel passion, pride, and success with our tires designed for champions. Order today at HoosierTire.com or call 574-784-3152. Hoosier Racing Tires. Tires designed for champions.
Racers are dedicated to winning. And Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed Circle Track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance Circle Track crate engines are engineered to win. Right out of the box.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Did you know that your Crate Racing USA membership gets you 5% off every purchase with Velocita by Melissa Markowitz? Well, you do now. They have everything from custom measured suits to gloves, Zamp helmets, and some very cool swag. Find Velocita by Melissa Markowitz on Facebook and get your order in today. Make sure to mention your Crate Racing USA membership. Welcome into the final segment of the show where we talk about what's coming up this week. It is week 13, but it is also Memorial Day weekend. On behalf of all of us at Crate Racing USA, I say a big thank you to all the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice for us to have our freedom to be at a racetrack, whether it's to drive the race cars, to watch the race cars, to work at the racetrack, or just simply be a part of this sport we love so much. We couldn't do it without the great heroes that gave everything for us to have everything we have. So a big thank you to the families, a big thank you to every single man and woman in our armed forces, and to those that gave us the freedom that we get to celebrate today. We say thank you as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. It is week 13 for points competition. That means we are 3 weeks away from officially hitting the halfway point of the 2026 campaign. Coming up tomorrow night. Now, all of this is weather pending. Keep a lookout on your social media outlets for all the racetracks, all the series. It is possibly going to be a very wet Memorial Day weekend, unfortunately, across the Southeast. So make sure each of these racetracks, you keep an eye on the social media outlets. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they're racing coming up tomorrow night. Hattiesburg Speedway on Friday night. Unfortunately, Pike County Speedway, they were set to have the Mississippi Challenge Series. They've already pulled the plug for the weekend. On Saturday, Blackwater Speedway down in Baker, Florida, they got the CRUSA late models, and they're going to have some pretty cool kids bike races going on. It's a $2,000 to win for the Crate Racing USA late models on Saturday at Blackwater. Talladega Short Track, the Topless Outlaws. If you've never seen the Topless Outlaws, something totally cool. They take the tops off of them, and you can literally see down in the cockpit. They'll be at the Hornet's Nest coming up Saturday night. It's also round 3 of the TST Cup Series that'll be going on at Talladega. The historic 441 Speedway in Dublin, well, they've teamed up with Cochrane this weekend. They'll have a $1,500 to win Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman event on Saturday night and a $1,000 to win CRUSA Street Stock race. I'll tell you what Cochrane's got going on to go along with that coming up. And Western Kentucky in Madisonville, Kentucky will be racing on Saturday night. On Sunday, as late model Mark likes to say at Talladega, Cochrane Motor Speedway, well, they've teamed up with some pretty cool bonus money for drivers that can go to the historic 441 on Saturday and come to Cochrane on Sunday and win. They got a lot of bonus money up. You can find the press release up at CrateRacingUSA.com. They've got their Memorial Day shootout on Sunday at at Cochran. Windy Hollow Speedway at Owensboro, Kentucky. They'll be racing on Sunday as well. They got the big rigs coming up there Saturday with the American Sprint Car Tour, and they'll have the sprint cars back on Sunday. The big rigs will not be there on Sunday. Magnolia Motor Speedway, well, they will have this weekend the 602 Sportsman World Championship practice coming up tomorrow night. They'll have prelim action on Saturday, and then the main events, the $5,000 to win Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour event is set for Sunday afternoon. That'll be going on. And then, of course, the Crate Racing USA Late Models, they will be headed to Alltech this weekend. Practice scheduled for Friday night. The $10,000 to win 6th annual Harvey Jones Memorial is set for Saturday night. Another reminder, it will not be live this weekend on Crate Racing USA TV, so keep up on the My Race Pass app and on the Crate Racing USA Facebook page. That is how Week 13 will shake out. Once again, Mother Nature could wreak havoc this weekend. It seems to be a very wet spring all of a sudden, but make sure you keep up with all these racetracks and keep an eye on their social media pages for the latest schedule changes. Well, that's going to do it for episode number 9. Can you believe that? 9 episodes already in the books. We will celebrate our first milestone episode next week with episode number 10. We'll have that for you coming up next Thursday night. A big thank you to our guest tonight, Malachi Magee, the youngster out of the state of Mississippi, and a fellow Magnolia State driver, Chace Pennington. They both joined us tonight. A big thank you to both of them, and thank you so much for being with us week in and week out. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the share button, and make sure you subscribe, whether it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, or each of the Facebook pages. You can do that as well. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and thanks for joining me each week right here on Crate Racing USA Live. Until next time, so long, everyone.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of Crate Racing USA. Crate Racing USA would like to thank our fans for their support, and we hope you enjoyed this broadcast.